all BS aside, because what I want to try to cut through is all of the divisiveness, right? I just want to analyze this from an objective point of view, okay? No biases and none of that, right? Just watch this interaction between Donald Trump and this journalist at the National Association of Black Journalists meeting in Chicago that Trump decided to show up to, but Kamala didn't. Just watch how this question or phrase, I don't even know what to call it, is being posed to Donald Trump. Listen to his response, and then you tell me if he was somehow being rude to her.
Not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
You listen to that again, man. You tell me if that interaction was him somehow being racist or vicious vow towards this woman. I feel like it was appropriate. He's saying, hey, look, the way that you phrasing this and framing that, like, yo, hold up. And then on top of everything that I've, helped in the black community, and you phrasing it like that, come on, man, that's uncalled for behavior. Uncalled for. The fact that he was able to show up there. He went to Chicago, went to talk to the people, and y'all want to sit there and instead of asking him, legitimate questions, y'all want to go ahead and create the bias around the question and things of that nature. We tired of it. He's tired of it. He's sick of it. And on top of that, she couldn't even explain what DEI meant. Okay. Seriously, I'm not making this up.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
a very direct question. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I really don't know. I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there.
First of all, I want to say that I feel like Donald Trump handled himself very well speaking with this journalist right here. Simply because, I mean, he walked into the lion's den, essentially, right? He walked into a convention where it was going to be predominantly black people, black journalists, and things of that nature, right? He walked into this and with no script, no previous questions to be asked. He went in there knowing that arrows was going to be shot, and I felt like he handled himself perfectly well. How do you phrase a question like, yeah, you know, you're hanging out with a white supremacist, you know, you've said this and that to a black person. It's like, come on, black people, get out of our fucking feelings. Okay, we're allowed to be criticized and critiqued too. Okay, like, and we're allowed to be criticized and critiqued by people who don't look like us. Okay, this is, I promise you, like, what is, how do I say this? So, if we're allowed to criticize and critique people, you know, we have to expect the same thing back in return. You know, so if you're gonna sit there and categorize this man pretty much to be a racist who hates. A racist who hangs out with white supremacists who strongly dislikes the black community, and you expect him to sit back and go, oh yeah, you know, yeah, you right, after all that he done to help us. Come on, man, that brainwashing gotta go, y'all. It has to go. Roland Martin, he decided that he wanted to chime in on this interaction.
NABJ got played. What happened here was exactly what we said was going to happen. First and foremost, when he, at the outset, insulted Rachel Scott, the leadership of this organization should have stood up and said, stop this discussion right now. You are not going to insult a member of this organization like you have insulted.
Hey, man, shut up. Get out your feelings, okay? She's not allowed to insult nobody either, just because she's black. It don't give you a pass to be disrespectful, you duck.
Like you have insulted April Ryan, Jamel Hill, and Yamiche Alcindor. I don't care if it's president's candidate. When you do not let someone do that, Rachel Scott held her own. She was good. Harris Faulkner had no business sitting on that stage. Fox News paid a $787 million judgment to advance his lies. Fox News should have never been on that stage. That man was rude. He was disrespectful. He did not answer a question.
In other words, the only people that should have been on the stage is people that you would have approved. Said he was rude. He did not answer the question. He's definitely answered the questions that we just seen. Rude? No. You guys were very rude. And the fact that you want to sit there and be a hypocrite like that, dog, come on, dog. That's just rude, man.
I answer questions, and what happened here was exactly what we told NABJ was going to happen. He played us. He got exactly what he wanted. And so the clips are going to be played. And did he answer questions that relate to African Americans? Hell no. Did he answer questions about black maternal rates? No. Did he answer questions about HBCUs? No. Did he answer questions about black unemployment and black economics? No. That was a travesty that we just witnessed on this stage.
What's the question you would like?
Sorry, y'all. This is what we call a race hustler. Okay, a sick one at that. But yeah, you say all this, and yet Kamala Harris refused to show up. She didn't even show up. The one that was the false pretenses that Trump was referencing. You cannot like him or his answers. That's okay, but there's no surprise here. What I watched, but he showed up and he walked into the lion's den. Again, while Kamala continues to hide from all the tough questions, she won't address the whole Indian black situation. She won't do it. She's just going to continue to let this all be divisive. That's what she's going to do. She's not going to say, oh yeah, I ran as an Indian American. Oh yeah, my father isn't, black. My mom isn't black. Like, okay. But nobody cares what this beta male has to say, y'all. I'm sorry, the audience, they loved him clearly, and it got up under his skin. Yeah, for real. This guy's investigate what's going on in our community. That's what we need to be laser focused on, if that's the case, right? And one of the things that's going on in our community is all of this simping, all of this whining. Oh, he talked to me like this and I didn't like that, but what he said was true. Come on, man, get out, y'all fellas. And this black woman who watched the Trump being treated so rudely by a black woman has more respect for Trump today after that.
Before I start this interview, I'm gonna ask y'all to, forgive my language in advance, because I'm gonna say some stuff on here that I don't usually say on my videos. So those of y'all who have sensitive ears, keep swiping. Let this be one of my videos that you swipe on by, because listen, playtime is over and the gloves are off. Now listen, first I want to say thank you to my Chi-Town sister who, let me know that Trump was gonna be in Chicago doing the interview. Now let me say this. This was the most disrespectful interview I think I've ever seen. First of all, Trump knew when he went to this interview that he was going in the lion's den. Kudos, Trump, to you going to this, because this was some straight up bullshit. This girl was so disrespectful, it's ridiculous. The whole panel was disrespectful, but it was so disrespectful, it was ridiculous. First of all, Kamala Harris didn't even show up. Kamala Harris didn't even show up because she don't feel like she needs to show up, because she already knows she got the black votes lined up in Chicago, and she don't have no respect for the black people. And let's not forget, she chicken shit. She complete chicken shit, because she been saying she wanted to debate Trump, and this would have been the best time for her to be on stage with Trump and say whatever she wanted to say to him. But of course she didn't even show up. The doggone interviewers, they were 35 minutes late because they had no respect for Trump either. But Trump, kudos to you for going into this bull crap. Now, this interview didn't even start the interview off by saying hello President Trump, or hello former President Trump, or hello Trump. She didn't even speak to him. She just went straight into the text. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't like Kamala Harris at all. Period. Y'all know I don't like Kamala Harris, but she is the VP of the United States of America. And then if I had a conversation with her, if I had an interview with her, the first thing I would do before I even started any question would say, hello, VP Harris, how you doing? That's the least respect you can give to anybody. But these disrespectful tricks, they have any respect for Trump. All they did was come out with attacks from the beginning. From the beginning, that's all they came out with. Now, this gonna have the nerve to say to Trump, tell me why should black people support you? With your rhetoric and all this and all that, and why should black people support you? You lied about Obama, you lied about Nikki Haley, and let me tell y'all something. That's what a lot of the black community mad at Trump about, because Trump questioned Obama citizenship in the United States of America, and you cannot question King Obama because black folks will have a fit. That's what a lot of them upset with Trump about. Because you can't question their God. And a lot of black people, their God is Obama. Y'all get mad at me all y'all want. It is what it is. I said what I said, and I meant what the I said. Yep, I said it. But let me tell y'all this right here. So she comes at Trump with all this old bullcrap. So, of course, Trump said, well, I've done a lot of stuff for the black community. He said the same thing he always said. I've done more for the black community than anybody except for Abraham Lincoln. Then this dumb, supposed to be educated, had the audacity to say, well, her brainwashed, brain-dead, simple-minded. So you telling me you done more for the black community than Lyndon B. Johnson, who passed the Voting Rights Act? This has got to be the dumbest I ever heard in my life, and I've heard a lot of them. But she's supposed to be so educated. First of all, let me tell y'all something, because I'm tired of blacks acting like Democrats, and Lyndon B. Johnson did so much for the black community. Lyndon B. Johnson didn't have a choice but to sign off on the Voting Rights Act because Republicans passed it. He was the president of the United States of America, and he didn't have a choice but to sign off on it. It's not like Lyndon B. Johnson and the Democrat Party did a thing for blacks out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because they didn't have a choice because Republicans passed it. And I'm so sick of these black folks acting like Democrats loved us. They ain't never cared nothing about us, and they still don't. But y'all keep falling for this trap they keep putting out there, thinking they care so much about you. And yep, I said what I said, and I meant what I said. But then, shit goes on to ask, so you call, Republicans, and y'all said Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. Do you think she's a DEI hire? Yeah, she's a DEI hire. She's a DEI hire. She was hired because she was a woman and because she was a woman of color. And she started calling herself black. Then this interviewer gonna tell me, well, she always called herself black. You telling her lie, because Kamala Harris called herself whatever she need to call herself to get whatever votes she need to get. I'm waiting on her to say that she's a trans woman, because now she's trying to get votes from the trans community. So Kamala Harris has been an energy woman when she was running up there in California. She became a black woman when she was running for VP, and she needed the black vote. And like I said, I'm waiting on her to say she's a trans woman, because now she's trying to get votes from the trans community. So don't sit up here and act like Kamala Harris don't switch with the wind because she kept. This was the worst interview ever. And Trump, I give kudos to you for even going into this bullshit. because I wouldn't have went nowhere near it. I wouldn't have went nowhere near it, period. But let me tell y'all something. If y'all sitting up here thinking just because a person is black or just because a person is a woman, that they got to jump in line with the Democratic Party or they got to vote for Kamala Harris, kiss the because I am a black woman and I'm not voting for either. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris and I'm not voting for the Democratic Party, and it is what the it is.
She snapped so hard, like I feel like I need to go in the corner. I feel like I need to be in timeout right now. Like, seriously. Wow. Bravo, y'all. This woman right here, popcorn in pajamas. Yes. Yes. Her for VP, y'all.